A guy comes in, all right, with a bent aluminum wheel. Now look, the tire was no good, and the wheel was bent. All right, now look, there are wheel repair places available now. So the guy goes, nah, my wheel repair guy's off. He's been on sick time for a while. I can't help you. That was the conversation. That was it.
Welcome to another episode of the Tire Talk podcast. My name is Fernando Herrera, and today I'm going to be talking with the regional sales manager for Toyo Tires. Now, we're not going to be talking about Toyo Tires in this podcast, but we are going to be talking about how to effectively run a tire shop, how to effectively run auto repair shops. This guy knows a lot about how to run shops. He's ran them, he's increased hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales, and he overall, just you'll see along the video, he knows a lot. And so hopefully this video is helpful if you're someone who's looking to increase your sales or just simply looking for ways to make your operation more efficient. So again, he's probably one of the smartest guys I've ever met. He mentioned some things that I was like, wow, he's really bright and talented. So I do want to thank him for participating in this interview. Now, before I go ahead and start the podcast with David, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, TireBase. TireBase is an all-in-one pretty much platform, whether you want websites, POS, tire warehouse management system. It's a software company that helps your tire business. Anything, whether that's e-com or brick and mortar, they got you covered. So thank you so much, TireBase, for sponsoring this video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce and start with David Strow. First and foremost, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Do you go by Dave or David?
Dave's fine, Dave Strow.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for your time, man. I know that you're a busy man, and I appreciate so much taking the time to talk to me today. How you doing?
Well, good. You know, it's nice to be part of Tire Talk. I have been in the tire business a long time. I've been in different positions, started in retail. I've been in wholesale. I've worked for major chains. I've worked for a manufacturer now. I work for Toyo Tire. I've worked for small independent retailers. I've worked for franchises. So I've worked at different levels. I've been commercial, I've been consumer, wholesale and retail. So there's no part of the tire business that I haven't worked in and been part of. A lot of time in training people on sales, also working on process and teaching now a lot of independent retailers how to maximize their profits.
Would you mind sharing with me or with us how you got into the tire industry? Like, when was the first time you got involved in tires?
Tire industry, believe it or not, I needed a job.
Okay.
And I had a college degree, and I just needed a job. And then I realized that I was making as much money as many of my counterparts in a job that most people wouldn't consider very glamorous. But you know what? I always had a job, and I was always able to produce sales and profit. And it really doesn't matter what product you sell or what service you're in. Although it is all exactly the same business over and over again. I mean, you can repeat whatever business you're in now and take it into whatever industry you'd like. And it's just tires took over. I found that I could be successful and profitable, and I never left. And I won't tell you how many years it's been, because that make me sound old, but it's been quite a few years, and it's been very good to me.
Okay, so how do you feel about that quote? They say once you get in the tire industry, you don't...
They say that you get the rubber dust in you, and it never leaves. You know, the one thing about tires and service is there's always a need. Even look, I've been through many economic downturns, and the tire industry and the service industry has not taken any significant downturns. In 2008, well, all of a sudden, you know what? The car business took a significant hit. Well, people were still fixing their older cars. Even now, a newer car, when the average price of a new car is $45,000, and you could easily spend 80 to 100,000, people are now fixing their cars and keeping them longer. So it doesn't matter the changes in the economic condition, the tire and service business has remained constant. We're currently in a kind of a flat period right now in our business because people are cautious of their spending right now. And so we're going through a little bit of a difficult time, but you know what? Demand is always going to be there, especially if you provide good service and good quality product.
Can you walk me? Just tell me, like, how did it just happen? Who was it? Was it a tire shop, a wholesaler? How
It
did
was, when I started,
Yeah.
it was a company called Winston Tire Company. They had over 150 stores.
400,
150.
150 stores, so a big chain.
It was a big chain. I was with them quite a few years, and we blossomed to over 200 stores at that time. And so I was part of that growth, and I had worked in many different roles.
What
And in
role
ma-
did you start at that time?
I started off as a store manager.
Okay. Wow.
First, it took me 3 months to become a store manager.
3
And
months.
Yes, and I stayed at one store for 6 years, which is unusual in retail. People tend to come and go and in and out, and the longer I was there, the easier it became, because you develop a clientele, you develop a trust. Your customer trusts you. When your customer trusts you, you do not have to sell yourself as much.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it
that's
really
true.
comes down to, you really, as any type of a business or retailer, you want people to walk in, hand you the keys, and say, call me when it's done. Well, I mean, that's a great place to get to, and it takes a long time to build that trust. And so many people struggle these days with building that trust. But then at the same time, you can't take advantage of that, ever. Because people, you know what, you make sure that they don't, eventually you need to get to the point where they don't check you anymore. Where they don't check whether the price was right. They don't even think about where to go, where do I get my brakes done, where do I get my tires done, where do I get my car fixed. They just come to you. And so after 6 years, I developed that in a business. And you know, it's universal, that sort of feeling, that sort of trust. I mean, like I say, it's all businesses can be that in some way or another, but it is something that you need to work on. So that was my start, and I've always tried to take that with me in every single job, because it really doesn't matter what job I took after that. I could go into wholesale, and if people trust you in wholesale. I now work for manufacturer. If people trust what I do, people trust that I'm there to take care of them and maintain their best interests. Is really, it doesn't, like, we could be doing fishing poles or we could be doing bowling balls.
Yeah. It's the same process.
It's the same process. It's always a process. Everything is a process to develop trust.
And so, for example, after you got your college degree, you got a role as a manager, or you earned your role 3 months later
Yes.
in this big company, 150. You stayed as a store manager for 6 years. Then what happened?
Well, actually, I got an opportunity. I went into one of my many options in life. I went into the fleet business.
Okay.
Where I was part of the fleet management team, where we went out and basically prospected fleets for our locations.
Under the same company?
Under the same company.
Okay.
We went out and we would contact electrical companies, plumbing companies, large companies, to go ahead and solicit our business to them. We also did national account business, so I managed the national account business.
Got exposed to all the
did.
agreements, the pricing, how the process works in billing.
Right, but now look, fleet, as any business, you need to have a wide variety of businesses. I mean, so many people, you cannot just depend on a retail public. I mean, you've got to also have a mix of business that includes fleet. because business to business is usually very profitable. Again, there's a lot of trust because now you're dealing with somebody else's profits. But things are, when you go into a fleet business and you start servicing fleets, you then realize is that their time is more important than the actual spend, is turning vehicles around. It's making sure that the guy who's driving that truck gets back onto the road immediately. And so there is a little bit of a focus, but it's same retail, but the fleet business, every retail tire store needs to develop that part of their business. There is
If now they're leaving a lot of money on the table.
they are leaving a lot of this, and again, once you build trust, price doesn't come as important because they trust you to be able to get the vehicle back on the road in a timely fashion. So what's the value of a gentleman whose livelihood depends on you getting his van back on the road, his truck back into his hands where he can generate income for the company and for himself? So the responsibility is great when it comes to fleet repair. I enjoyed fleet repair. I had done it since in a couple of other organizations that I had worked with. And I enjoyed business to business because business to business, they understand that you need to make a profit.
Right.
It's a little bit different when you're doing the business to business sales because they're there to make a profit, so they understand you have to make a profit. Where the retail public, you've got to kind of, I don't say you got to trick them, but they've got to know you're there to make a profit too.
Right.
But in business to business, it's a little bit more understood. So I enjoyed that role. I moved from there, so I ran multiple locations.
Okay.
So I went from a fleet business where I had 15 tire stores that I was running.
Wow.
And 15 tire stores, it's the same as running one tire store times 15. It's the same business. It's the same thing over and over again. It's again about being consistent, delivering a good quality product and excellent service. We all have the opportunity to deliver service every single day. Every customer walks through the door here at Tire Mart.
Right.
You have the opportunity to show them the absolute best service that you can. You want to be consistent in what you do. Consistent with the expectations, consistent with process. Because as you develop multiple stores, and let me tell you, I mean, I hate to bring up, but McDonald's is a classic example. Someone could leave a McDonald's here today in Las Vegas, start at a McDonald's in Southern California tomorrow, and they wouldn't miss one beat because it's the exact same process. In process, when you have multiple locations, even single location, like there should always be a process. Everything an employee does should be controlled by a process. And as I managed multiple locations, I could take the process, if it's the same, I could take the people and move the people to another location, but the process would be the same.
But for example, what would be, like I feel the biggest challenge, especially for people wanting to expand, is oftentimes the people. But do you think it's the people or is it the process or a combination of both?
If you have good process, I mean, I don't want to sound callous. The people won't matter.
Yeah.
Because, look, I believe that people want rules. I believe that to keep employees and to keep team members happy is that they have to know what the rules are. I love having rules. I have a job right now. I don't have a supervisor that I see but every 3 months, but I have rules. I have rules that I live by every day, all right? And it comes down to once you have a process on every vehicle you service, every customer that comes in, if you have the same process over and over again, you can trade the people out, but the process is still the process.
So then for new people coming in, let's assume you have the right process then. You are about to start a new store. You have a perfect manual or flow chart or whatever.
Absolutely, 100%.
And then how long would it take? How long do you think training this new type of personnel would take?
Well, it's a lot different than it is. And I don't want to sound like some curmudgeon, but look, back then it was how do you answer the phone? I wouldn't let anybody answer the phone for 2 weeks
Okay.
because I would train them on how to answer the phone. And you answer the phone the same way every single time. I can answer the phone here right now. It would be the same phone script that I taught
Can you show
25
it?
years ago.
Can
It
you
would-
tell us? Can you
What's
tell
that?
us how it goes?
Well, thank you for choosing Wheelmart. This is Dave. How may I help you today?
I'm looking for some tires, Dave.
All right. Well, hey, what kind of vehicle do you have?
It's a Hyundai Tucson. It's just a family car.
Hyundai Tucson. So you have 225, 65, 17. Does that sound familiar?
You know what? I don't know, but I could check. Yeah.
Oh, no, don't bother. I'm looking right here on my fitment guide online. There's no need for you to go out in this heat today. Now, have you been here before?
I actually found you guys through Google.
So you know where we're located, right?
Yeah, I do.
Tropicana, is that correct?
Yep, that is
All
correct.
right, great. And I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name is Fernando.
Fernando? Look,
Yes.
my name again is Dave. Is there any particular tire you're looking for today? We carry a variety of major brands, including Michelin, Uniro, BF Goodrich, Toyo.
I've heard of Toyo. Maybe I'm on the fence with the budget right now. You know, it's a little uncertain economy.
Look, I've got tires starting at $89.95. That's a 60,000 mile all season radial, built to deliver a smooth, quiet, and comfortable ride. How does that sound?
Okay. So when can I go in, man?
Well, what's good for you? What time, Fernando?
Tomorrow morning,
Tomorrow morning, what time?
8 a.m.
Okay. Fernando, I need your phone number.
All right.
Can I get it from you, please?
Sure, absolutely. 702-994-2249.
Okay, I got that. Look, my name is Dave. You know where we're located. How many? And you need 4 tires, is that correct?
Yes, 4.
Okay. I'm going to be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay. Do you need to ride home, or are you going to wait for it? What's your plan?
I'm gonna. Well, how long will it take typically?
How long can I have it?
I mean, if it's less than an hour, maybe I'll just wait.
If that's what you'd like, that's what we'll do. I can also give you a ride home. Now, we also have financing available.
Okay.
Is that something you're interested in?
No, I'm just gonna pay it off, man. It's
Okay,
weird.
sounds good. Well, we'll talk more when I see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Awesome.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, for now, look forward to seeing you again. My name is Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see you emphasize the Dave. Is there a reason? Just to.
Your name is the most important thing to you. I don't care if it's wholesale, retail, commercial, consumer. The name, it's the sweetest thing you're. If someone said Fernando at the other side of this room, would you turn your head?
Yeah.
If they said James, would you turn your head?
No.
Because it's not you. I always look, I teach my people, or people that I deal with now, is that you need to write down, you have a pad of paper, you should always write down somebody's name. And you should emphasize the name. Because names bring in, it's a personal connection. Because like I answered the phone, I taught people to answer the phone over and over again. All right, you need to make a connection on that phone that you're somebody they want to come and meet. I've had people come into me and go, you know what, you're more expensive, but I wanted to come meet a guy who is like you. Because how many people are like that on the phone these days?
Oh no, very few. If they even answer the phone.
Phone shop, you look, if you're in any business, phone shop competition, know how you can be better than they are. Because the phone is just the place to start. Because the interactions begin in person, interactions begin with a name. Now, Fernando, when you walk in at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, you know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to walk out in the parking lot, I'm going to see your Hyundai, and I'm going to go, Fernando, you ready to put those tires on? Are you welcomed?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you feel important?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it you're going to walk in and I talked to Dave yesterday about some tires and You know what? You're going to stand there for 15 minutes. You could leave, right?
Yeah. Could change my
All
mind.
right. Now, so if we're talking to retailers right now, is you need to be the most welcoming person that you could be. I always used to teach the people that sold for me, you need to pretend the person that's walking in is your best friend in high school and you haven't seen them in 20 years. How are you going to talk to them?
Hey, how are you,
Hey,
man?
are you making what? You're making a connection with somebody. You're making them feel comfortable. It's about, again, you're building trust. You're building a bridge for a relationship with somebody by using their name, recognizing them, why they're there. Are you leaving at that point? I have shops, you know what they'll do? Customer pull in the parking lot, they'll put a jack under the car
Yeah.
before they get out of the car. I know, because I got to tell them, oh, stop, hold on, I'm just here to talk about tires. But that's the kind of service that doesn't exist. And if it doesn't exist, why doesn't it exist for your business? And it's that way, and it doesn't matter. I did wholesale for a long time. Wholesale, someone would show up to pick up a set of tires at a wholesale center, and I always had the tires pulled, and I would come out and I would greet them. I would know who they are. Again, when would you come back?
Yeah.
Because you'd want to come back.
Yeah, there's Dave, the guy that always greets me at the door.
Right, exactly. But it goes for every business. So retail, having those stores, I trained at one time. We had 70 plus stores were in the market I was at. And I trained every new employee.
Oh, so you were the one that would train.
I trained them.
That's perfect. So, for example, then you wouldn't let people answer the phone for 2 weeks.
Absolutely not.
What would be the next part of, or the integral part of your training?
Well, you know what, after that, it's going to come down to a process. Again, I'm going to bring process back over and over and over again, because you got to have the same process every time. There's a process for a sale.
Okay.
Every sale has a process. I have a process right now, by the way. After all these years, I have a process. I prepare for every visit I make with the same information. I prepare ahead of time. So when a customer of any type or any type of situation in sales, you need to have a process. And that sales process was usually the next step for me. And again, you need to practice, practice, and practice. It's just like that phone script for me. Do you think I've practiced it before?
Yeah.
Did I stutter? Did I stammer? Did I hem and haw? It was quick. It was easy.
Yeah.
Now when
you know it by heart.
right. So that's what a process is. It's something you know by heart. Now when a customer comes into a retail facility, wholesale facility, there needs to be the same approach. People who walk in here at, let's say, Wheelmart or Tire Mart, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. We could be at Walmart. Honestly.
I've been around too long, I can't remember. But look, there's a process. How you greet a customer. Where do you greet a customer? All right? You guys have a counter. I hate counters. Yeah. I would take them all out right now. And there are retailers that take their counters out and do better.
Okay.
All right? I always insist on...
So if you have a counter...
Get rid of it.
Dave recommends getting rid of it.
Get rid of it.
And why is it? I've heard of this before, but I want to make sure it's the same reason.
It's a connection that you make.
Okay. So
you need to make a connection with a customer. All right? When you have a counter between you and the customer, that's a barrier. If we have a counter, I would show you. All right? If you have a counter between you and I, could you leave?
Yeah.
Okay, if I was standing right next to you, could you leave?
It feels a little more close. So yeah,
a little
probably.
closer.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? That's, for me, a greeting on a retail counter doesn't exist. It's in person, at the door. Look, the process always started with a trip to the car on the retail side of our business. All right? If you don't go out to a car, you want to walk around the car. You want to touch all the tires. You want to look at the condition of the tires. You want to prepare yourself for your presentation. What are you looking for? I mean, how many miles are on the car? Is there wear on the outside edges? Is there wear on the outside? Do all four tires match? Are they all four different tires? What brand is on there now? There's a process right there. You get the license, you got to get the mileage because you got to put it in there for warranty. So you might as well go out and get it now. Again, go with the customer. That's what I taught. Go with the customer because you're building the bridge for trust. Fernando, if I'm going out with you to your car, who's fixing your car with you? You and I are, right? You and I are going out to your car. We're going to go ahead and fix this car together.
Right.
And there's a real benefit to that. So if you talk about a process, that's a sales process. All right, a good, friendly, warm greeting. Always. I mean, I encourage you. Look, if you got an appointment, do you have an appointment pad here?
An appointment pad?
Yeah, do you have one?
No, actually, I don't think we
Okay,
have.
I can help you guys with that. But I mean, you should have an appointment pad. You should have every contact, everything written down all the time. So that initial contact comes in, you start your process. Process is the same. Process, you go out to the car, you get the information. You're going to look at the vehicle, all right?
So things like what you just said, checking are tires matching, are they all, even though if a customer is looking for one, you want to check all four, you want to check for little things like that could.
Look, you know what you're doing when you're doing that? Is I always call it you're loading a gun. Because a gun, you know what? I've never fired a gun. All right,
Okay.
sorry. But I've seen on TV where they flip the barrel thing
Barrels
over. Yeah, you probably know. And you put bullets in it, right? One at a time. With each trip and every contact you make, you're putting bullets in your gun. Because that's ammunition that leads to happy customers and sales. Because all of a sudden, all right, you got some outer edge wear, bullet. Hey, you have 110,000 miles on the car. You have a child seat in the back. Bullet, bullet, bullet. Every step of the way is you're loading. And I'm not talking about you're loading a fire gun at somebody, but you're loading to fire recommendations to people. You're building rapport. You're building trust by asking people a little bit about themselves. We can't be afraid to do that.
So briefly, can you tell us just about how many shops, retail shops, you've probably visited throughout your career?
Well, currently, I have a stable of 246 retail shops that I visit on a regular basis.
So you see a lot of shops.
I see a lot of shops. I see a lot of stuff that is cringeworthy. All right, I can't say it.
Can't you tell us at least some?
All right.
You don't have to say some names.
This week, I was in Fresno, California.
Okay.
Okay? A guy comes in, all right, with a bent aluminum wheel. Now look, the tire was no good, and the wheel was bent. All right, now look, there are wheel repair places available now. So the guy goes, nah, my wheel repair guy's off. He's been on sick time for a while. I can't help you. That was the conversation. That was it. Now, the guy at the counter, I go, first of all, I couldn't interject because I wanted to go, hey, look, there's a guy down the street I know that can send the wheel out, probably have it back within a day, because I know enough to know that you can get a wheel fix. This guy, what I would have done is I would have taken the guy's name and phone number, taken the wheel from him, the wheel and tire, and go, look, I need to do a little bit of investigation. If the guy doesn't want to leave the wheel and tire, you at least get his name and phone number, go, look, you know what, I need to do a little investigation, I need to see what I can do, maybe I'll take a picture of this wheel. He made no effort, none whatsoever, no effort. So I handed him a notebook. I said, here you go, here's a notebook and a pen. The next guy comes in here, why don't you write down his name?
What did he say?
He didn't. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Right.
Fernando, it's what it is.
Yeah.
All right? Well, I work for a company, we talk a little bit about empathy. Is there any empathy in that guy?
Probably not.
No. If you don't have empathy for your customer, that guy ain't coming back. See, if I was that guy, I would have captured that guy. because I would have taken his name and phone number. We take a picture. Let me see what I can do about your wheel, because someone needed to take care of him. He needed to get to work.
Yeah.
That's his only car.
For those who I guess need a reminder on what empathy means, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it would be putting yourself in the position of that other person. Right?
Yes.
So being that person with that bent wheel and saying, hey, I
Right.
need help, and the other guy just saying, no, my guy's off on vacation, is pretty much just saying, like, I don't care about.
I say this a lot. If not me, then who? I even say that in my current job. I say that. I go, look, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? I mean, if someone doesn't take care of the customer, who is? Now, in a retail setting, he can go somewhere else.
Right.
And you lost.
Yeah.
You lost the customer. Maybe he's got a bent front end. You know what? He's got a bent wheel. You know what I'm thinking about? I can fix his wheel, probably sell him a tire, maybe two. I bet I can do an alignment on the car, probably a camber kit. You know, by the time I'm done, I'm gonna do okay on this deal. And the company and the customer's gonna be like, wow, that guy took care of everything for me.
Yep.
Is he coming back?
Yeah. Yeah, if you take care of him, of course.
He's coming back. He doesn't have, it's like, wow, this guy took care of me.
Especially people don't realize this as shop owners. Like I never realized this, but people do have a hard time finding a reliable, a trustworthy auto repair center.
They do.
That could, that they could just walk in and they could know that, wow, this guy's going to take care of me.
It only takes one interaction. One time is all. Now you have every time a customer comes in, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to deliver world-class service. We, many years ago, we used to call it a wow. When a customer walks out of your business, keys in their hand, they're all done, and they go, wow.
Yeah.
That's all.
Very few businesses do it that way.
You know what? You know what? When I see it, because I get it every once in a while, where I walk out of a place and go, wow. Now look, a lot of times it's a Chick-fil-A. Go to a Chick-fil-A, walk out of Chick-fil-A, and then go, wow. Yeah. They were happy to see me. They took care of me. They smiled. I mean, any shop.
And I only wanted a chicken burger, man.
Right. But they were grateful I was there. I mean, I actually tell shops, if you want to go learn how to be good at your job, go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's a good.
Because that's the kind of service. I don't think I've ever been to Chick-fil-A, they haven't smiled. So us as retailers, or retailers that I work with, if you can deliver that every time, you're good. So a process is really taking a customer to the car, but then you're going to ask customers about products. And, I've talked to a lot of shops this week about quality, offering a quality product. Because, look, if you want to position yourself around anything, why not position your store and your business around a quality product? If you do your job, if you go out to that car, you look at the car, you're going to offer a quality products every time. Now look, the customer doesn't buy it, you've gone through your process. I've went to the car, I've tried to build some trust, I built rapport with the customer. I've looked, I've asked them what they want. People forget to ask, hey, Fernando, what's important to you?
Just reliability. That my tires aren't going to pop out of nowhere.
I mean, look, if we sell, all right, I teach people this all the time. Do you sell tires?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
No way. If you think you sell tires, then you're mistaken. You know what you sell? Safety. Why do people buy tires?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, because I need them? No. Because they want to be safe.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you see some dried rodness, you see a nail popping out of your tire, of course you're not going to want to drive it.
All right. We went through a pandemic. Do you remember the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay. If, let's say, it got really bad and you're a crowded room of people, what kind of mask do you want on?
Probably the best one.
The best mask available.
Yeah.
So now you're on a freeway, And in Vegas, you're doing 85, 90 miles per hour, 5 feet away from somebody you don't know and just left the casino, and they're 10 sheets down to the wind with Jack Daniels. What kind of tires do you want? You want the best, right? Because you want to be safe. Do you want to stop this short? Or do you not want to stop short enough?
Right.
Do you want to be able to turn on a dime? Do you want to be able to do all those things? So we don't sell tires. And if you sell tires because it's a tire, you need to sell safety. If you sell safety, you sell a better product. Always. I did training at your facility here.
Oh,
and
here?
we talked about that. Yeah, 6 years ago. 5 years ago this
5
week.
years ago.
Yep.
Wow, man.
Right over on Lucy. I did it. And we talked about this exact same thing. And everybody I talked to about selling products.
Honestly, I really thought you would be a great guest because, there's a lot of shop owners who are either starting, who don't know how to grow their business. They say there's not enough demand or there's not enough market. But I do want to touch base a little bit on, I know you and I kind of mentioned this briefly, but a lot of businesses out there, cash flow. Okay, so we're going to talk about cash flow. But before we talk about cash flow, I feel that the primary reason why most of the businesses out there that have a cash flow issue is because they're engaging in somewhat of a level of wholesale, or they want to grow bigger, right? So they say, hey, if I'm going to be buying instead of 4 tires, let me just buy 30 tires. Then I can maybe resell some tires here or there. But tell us.
Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, everything starts with what position you'd like to take in your market. You have to identify yourself. You have to identify who do you want to be. Do you want to go to wholesale? You want to do retail? What do you want to do? Identify what you want to be. So many people, they say, I want to grow my business, but they don't know who they are. They don't know. Do I want to be a specialty shop? Do I want to lift vehicles? Do I want to lower vehicles? Do I want to do high performance tires and wheels? What do I want to do? See, because positioning yourself in the market defines your cash flow. It defines on who you are. And that's where a lot of people, when they start their business, they don't know what business they want to be in. We say we want to be in the tire and automotive business. What position do you want to take in the tire and automotive business? Do you want to, you can provide good price, good quality, or good service. Pick two.
So, yeah.
Because you can't pick all three.
Nobody can do all 3?
It's hard. If you can do price, quality, and service, that's a golden formula to position your business and grow your sales. But it's hard to do all 3.
Yeah.
It really is. So always try to wrap yourself around those 3 things. Which ones do I want to be good with? What do I want to be known as in the market? Do I want to be, hey, this is where I go with the least expensive tires? Do you want to do that? Because if you wrap yourself around price, everybody's got a lower price.
Yeah.
You're not going to grow your business. You're not going to grow your sales, your cash. You're not going to be able to do it because, you know what? You're attracting and developing the wrong customer. You want to be able to develop customers that understand value. Because ultimately your job is to bring value to the customer, and value brings you gross profit. Gross profit generates cash flow. Because cash flow is why people fail, is because they don't have enough revenue coming in and they don't watch their expenses. And you know what? Having a good position is key to growing that business. Is you need to make sure you identify yourself. And that's what it's all about. I mean, cash flow, there are a lot of pieces.
Right, but for example, another part of cash flow I'm very intrigued by is leveraging cash flow. So we were talking the other day over the phone, and you mentioned something interesting where you said a shop will often buy a set of tires for a customer that's coming in, and then the customer decides not to show up, and instead of returning these 4 tires, they decide to keep them.
Yeah,
What's a problem with that?
I will tell you right now is that with the way the wholesale business exists right now, there are so many wholesalers. You can get almost any tire you want within half a day. All right, maybe the next day. Having extra inventory, you know what? You got to think each one of these tires
Yeah.
is money. It's a dollar bill. It's $100 bills sitting there.
Yep.
So you have got to turn that money, because that $100 in that tire that's sitting there, if it's sitting there and it doesn't move, you can't turn it around, buy another product, and then resell that product, because that money is tied up sitting there and you can't use it. And so I tried to tell, look, I worked with a guy, he wouldn't keep any extra tires around. He taught me this. He owned 3 stores. He was very, very profitable. If it didn't sell, it was gone the next day or the same day. And it's that way with everything. If you're in the repair business, all right, get your cores and returns back. Get everything back.
Oh my goodness. Don't
You
even
know
get
what?
me started with parts, man. Yeah, I've
Oh.
seen a lot of shops out there that they'll have a room full of parts that nobody even knows where they came from, who they're for, but they just never returned them.
Right. Well, you know what? All right, here's my trick. Each one of my stores I've ever ran, I had a bin with each parts house name on it. I had a rack for returns on tires that had to go back. So you teach your
Process.
process. Every time parts driver came to drop off parts, they would check their bin.
AutoZone. Would you separate it by
Oh yeah,
vendor?
AutoZone, O'Reilly's.
Or is it one bin for all of them?
Nope.
Oh, so it even
Each.
makes it easy for the driver.
That's
because
correct.
then they'll be able to see, oh, I'm AutoZone. Yeah, okay, you guys have no returns.
Right.
Okay,
I got a shop, and he's going to kill me. He's up in the Bay Area. He's got freaking, I don't know, $30,000 worth of parts. And I just want to go, hold on, let me help you out and give you $30,000 today. Let's cut through this. Let's find out where all this belongs. If you pay a restocking fee, what does it matter? Because you just got cash sitting here.
At that point, man, yeah, sometimes parts get lost. They are no longer.
That's
Yeah.
You know what? That's a big one. But tires, the average cost of a tire is $151 wholesale right now. So you got $600. Now you take that $600, send it back, then take that $600 and buy something that would sell, and you turn the cash that day. I have a shop up in Sacramento, and I know they're going to look at this because I'm going to send it to them. But they bought a wheel installation kit. It was $30, and it was wrong. So they go, well, we'll keep it. And he said, no, don't keep it. Send it back. They got the right part, so why keep it? Just because someday you might sell it? The biggest thing is you can't have, in a small retail environment, you can't have extra stuff. If it doesn't sell, you don't need it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't sell in 3 days, get it out. So cash flow, it's what kills businesses. They don't know what happens. I mean, I worked for a small franchise company, and it was this franchisor, and all of a sudden we looked at we owed our tire supplier $10,000. We didn't have any money in the bank.
Yeah.
So you know how long it takes to catch up for $10,000? Because you have to continuously to sell what you have, pay the bills that you currently have, and then any additional gross profit that you have to take and put toward a debt. And you can't get out.
For example, when does it make sense to stock tires? Or
There-
does it ever, like,
Right now, stocking tires, and look, I'm in the business of selling, well, actually, I'm not even in the business of selling tires. I work for a tire manufacturer. I tell people not to buy my tires. Fernando, you're not in the business to buy tires. You're in the business to sell tires.
Okay.
Whether you're retail, wholesale, whether you're commercial, consumer, your business is to sell tires, not to buy tires. If tires sit on your shelf, you don't need them. Now, look, you should have the most, I'm not going to say, look, you should have the most popular sizes.
The ones you know you're gonna sell,
Right.
at least
Yeah.
some person's gonna
195,
come and
65,
ask.
15, 205, 55, 16, 215, 55, 17, 225, 65, 17, 235, 60, 18.
Yep. You read my mind,
245,
man.
75, 16, 225, 75, 16,
Yeah.
235, 65, 16 for the new Transit vans. I could go on to about 30 or so sizes.
Yeah.
So you do need to have some inventory, but that special set of 19-inch tire Pirellis that the guy didn't show up with and they're $350,
Yeah.
don't think he's, you know what, coming back. You know
Yeah.
what? Get rid of them. I mean, I could tell you about how to really deal with those situations and ensure that the customer comes in.
Right.
You see, that's why I talked earlier about how I got your phone number.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I would call you at 7:30 in the morning before you come in. And I go, Fernando, are you on your way in at 8 o'clock? Hey, my guy just showed up. You want to make sure, I would never have a customer not show up.
Oh, so you double, triple check.
All right, who goes to their doctor? You go to a doctor, I know you're young, you're healthy.
No, I do.
Okay, what does your doctor do before, the night before?
Probably, I don't know.
He calls you?
I got text messages.
They
now.
call, they text?
Yeah. You do get a, yeah.
Okay,
you're
so
right.
now I've got $600 of the tires, maybe $1,200 of the tires. And again, it could tie up my cash flow, or I can make sure you come in. So your process takes back over, and that you have a process of, I'm going to follow up with the customer, remind them to come in, then you don't return those tires, because your job is to sell the tires. And what do you sell? Come on, you know the word. What do we sell?
Tires.
Come on, what do we sell? We sell safety.
Oh my goodness, man. You're,
I'm gonna text you next week. I'm gonna call you and I go, hey, what do we sell? And if you say tires,
no.
I'm gonna drive to Southern California and I'm gonna yell at you.
No. Okay, yeah. Okay, I have to remember this. So we sell safety.
We sell safety. If you sell safety, you'll take care of your customers. And look, you need to position yourself because you need cash flow. We talked about cash flow. I could go into all kinds of tricks and things like that. I will tell you, you know what you really need? Each shop that if they listen to me or they don't, someone's going to listen. I hope they hear. You need $30. Well, what do you mean? I said, you need $30 per car more. So let's say you see 500 cars in a month. If you sold $30 more, if you were profitable by $30 more, that's $15,000 on average. I used to say $20, but prices have gone up, costs have gone up. But if you take the number of cars, and if you need $15,000 more, then you need to add $30 on to each car on average. And that's how I always used to, if I was in a financial hole and I owed that $10,000 that I didn't have to a tire supplier, I would just, and I'm not talking about screwing people over, but I am talking about being smart.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd sell an extra 2 sets of wiper blades, or I'd sell an air filter, or you know what, I'd find a way to get just maybe 2 extra alignments. You sell 2 extra alignments today, and now they're what, $100, $120 a piece?
Yeah.
That's $240.
Yeah. I've heard of that strategy actually. Yeah, selling packs of alignments.
Yeah, just
Or yeah, bundles.
because you don't need a lot to really
Yeah.
impact your business. You know, you got to do it in little pieces.
You're like our first guest that's coming in here as a teacher, truly, like as a mentor. I've seen you and I've known you through the years. I remember the first time we met was back when I was in North Las Vegas in Brooks.
Yeah, at your wholesale facility.
Yeah,
Yes.
that it didn't work out, but eventually, you know, everything happens for a reason. But
Absolutely.
I remember, you know, I feel an individual like yourself is constantly going through shops, seeing and observing and learning and you know, is on top of the trend, you know, working with a company like Toyo. And this is the first time we're actually bringing someone like yourself to hopefully give value to auto repair owners, wholesalers, people who want to be in the industry. So absolutely, we will most likely be having more videos with you. I would
Great.
love to hopefully get also eventually a tour of either your favorite shop or a Toyo warehouse or whatever, just to again open the perspective. That's my purpose, to open the perspective of the auto repair shop, because in the operation, man, you get tunnel vision, and sometimes all you need is that one video or that one moment to just break that.
I need to do that. And look, they always say, as there are a lot of owners I deal with, you can either work in your business or you can work on your business. Now, if you're working in your business, you don't have a chance to look from the outside. You don't have a chance of what can I do to grow? How can I grow my sales? What am I doing? You know what? You're just lucky the tire guy showed up today. And we get so wrapped up, and believe me, it is hard these days to look on the outside of your business and realize, what can I do to grow? How can I reposition myself in my market? Who do I want to become? Because that is, everybody, I want everybody to be profitable.
Yep.
Because you know what? I work for a tire manufacturer. You sell tires, I sell tires.
It's a win-win.
Isn't it? If I help you sell tires, and maybe someone listens to this and they sell more tires, they might sell some of mine, and I do great.
Yep.
But more importantly, you know what? As independent owners and businessmen, we need to make sure we put the money in the bank by having a sales process, bringing a value to somebody, bringing there's a reason to come back. Because it doesn't matter whether you're retail, wholesale, commercial, consumer. Same as a manufacturer. I want to go out and I visit dealers. I want to give them a reason to sell my product. Right. Because that's what you want. You want to be able to build a value. And that's what I think we're missing. Because there's really, for now, what's the price of value?
I mean, I don't know.
You can't put a price on value, can you?
No.
Ease of use.
Yeah.
You know, how easy is it to do business? What's that value? You know?
It's hard to quantify.
It is. But let me ask you something. Can someone take your value away from you? The value you deliver here, no one can take it away.
Yeah.
No one can come and bring your value in cheaper.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
And
that's a hard lesson I've learned. When you get into the pricing game, or you buy or get business just through price, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot, because, like you said, someone else could come in and take your customer straight out, and it sucks. I mean,
price is temporary, because it could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
In the wholesale business, I do a lot of wholesalers also.
Yeah.
Is people come into the market, sometimes new players, they come in with a low price.
Yep.
Within 60 days, that price changes, because you can't maintain a low price.
Yep.
Because it doesn't cover your expenses.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not going to make money, why don't you just stay at home?
No, yeah, I agree. And that's maybe that's a conversation we can have for our round 2, man. But
we will.
I do again appreciate the time you've given us. How can people reach out to you if they have questions? If some of our viewers have questions and they want to get in touch with you directly?
All right. I give you my email address.
That's fine, man. It could be again.
All right, my cell phone number. How's that? Because you know what?
Or if you don't want to give it,
in my business, do you know how I separate myself right now?
How?
And I could have many people comment on this. I answer my phone. 714-886-8091. 714-886-8091. Repeat it twice. And I would be glad to talk to anybody anywhere. Because you know what? I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not, into anything but selling tires. That, my dogs, and my wife.
Selling value.
Sell value. And you sell what?
Safety?
All right, that's it. We'll end it on safety.
Good.
Self-safety. All right.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, man. And thank you.
All
again.
right, thank you. All right. There we go. Did you learn anything today?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.